Speaking of the DNC and Chicago, let's bring in Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi. He represents the 8th Congressional District in Illinois, northwest of the Chicago Loop. He's the ranking member of the China Select Committee and a member of the Oversight and Intelligence Committees. And it's great to have you here. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thank you.
So I don't know where to begin. Where is your attention going to be focused in terms of the DNC this week? As we suggested earlier, is it on the protests and how they're handled? Is it going to be on the message that we hear, just hearing from the president himself, perhaps, and how he's articulating the moment this week? What do you think?
Well, I think tonight's going to be a celebration of Joe Biden and real gratitude to him for his service to the country. And as he said in his kind of farewell address, if you will, from his office, the Oval Office, he greatly reveres the presidency, but he loves his country more. And I think people are really going to express their gratitude tonight for what he did recently in paving the way for the next generation of leaders to take charge of the party, including Kamala Harris. So that's one moment. Another moment is, of course, Kamala Harris herself and her speech on Thursday night to a nation that knows her but doesn't know her well. And so I think that she's going to have a chance to make another impression, a first impression a second time. And I think people are going to be excited to hear her speak.
What should we know about the preparations for Chicago itself? There's so much made of whether the city was ready and what's been going on with crime and so forth. You know better than anyone kind of the area that we're talking about and a lot of what's going on there. What would you say?
I think that the city's ready. Law enforcement is ready. There are multiple layers of security throughout the city. I think that I expect the convention to go off without a hitch. I also hope that people really have a chance to enjoy Chicago, which I believe is the most beautiful city in the world, especially this time of year.
No
and
way.
I think people are really going to have a great time.
You homer.
Who's disagreeing with me?
That's me, Joe. Yeah. No way.
Come on, man. You love Chicago.
But most beautiful city in the world? Come on. You'd have to go with San Francisco, probably, the city by the bay. You can tie that to the vice president. Tie that to the vice president. Or New York City. Maybe not. Times Square. Sorry, go ahead. We digress. I can't let him just... there's going to be so much slinging of this type of stuff over the next 4 days. We're not going to let you just do it here. Congressman. I let you go. I let you say how willingly.
Come to Chicago. We're going to treat you right, man. It's on me. Come to Chicago.
I didn't say a word about when you said how gracious the president was in willingly deciding to step aside. I let that slide. I can't let the Chicago comment go.
Well, I challenge you to come to Chicago.
I've been there.
Anytime in the near future. And let's see if you don't feel that you had a terrific experience.
No, I like it. I just don't think it's the most beautiful city.
I was in Chicago 3 weeks ago.
Is it the most beautiful city in the world?
Beautiful city.
Most beautiful in the world.
I haven't been to every city in the world. But
most beautiful city you ever been to.
Summertime is really great.
It is.
Congressman, it's hard for me not to talk China with you at this opportunity. I'm trying to stay DNC. I'm trying to stay, Chicago, but
second city.
Listen. I look at it and I think it's this major strategic issue that is getting almost. We don't even have a carrier ship over there right now. What do you call it? Aircraft carrier, right? They're all over in the Middle East trying to deal. The defense people are concerned that they were totally unprepared for handling multiple major conflicts at once. Given the position that you sit in, and not to get too serious here, but just what do you think the American public needs to know right now? Should we be concerned about some of these developments and whether we're ready for any kind of flame up in tensions with China or no?
We're ready, but we have to do more. I think that the fact of the matter is, I believe that it's important on a bipartisan basis that we do everything we can to deter Chinese Communist Party aggression, whether it's military, technological, or economic. With regard to any kind of military aggression, we have to work with our allies, partners, and friends in the region, which is perhaps the thing that the CCP fears the most. And I feel we're prepared, but we need to do more, and we need to do it faster because the CCP is also increasing its capabilities as well.
Yeah, and that aside, I mean, the article in the Wall Street Journal kind of sums it up today. It talks about how China became a car money pit. We were talking about Estee Lauder a moment ago. Those shares have gone from 400 to 80 or 90 on the back of this China benefit that has now turned into a headwind. And so many companies in their latest quarters were talking about how far down sales are in China. What explains that?
Well, the Chinese economy is tanking. That's what's really explaining this situation. The fundamentals are bad. Consumer confidence is drying up. I think that at this point, the large sectors of the economy are on the verge of deflation, and they have a demographic disaster looming as the country ages and its population is shrinking. And so on top of all of that, the CCP is continuing to exercise stifling control on the economy. And so that is fundamentally why companies, not only foreign, but also domestic, are suffering right now in China.
Yeah. But I hear that, and I think stifling control on companies, and it sounds a little bit like what we might be hearing, you're part a little bit of what is.
Oh, wait a second, that's a cheap shot. Hold on a second.
Just a little bit. I don't, I feel like if that's the end goal, do we want to even tiptoe kind of in that direction? Not the end goal, but the end outcome. Do you want to even kind of tiptoe in that direction?
Hold on a second. I think that all of your viewers hopefully believe in competition and the proper functioning of markets. And I think that's really what we need to always be keeping an eye on as a government, which is make sure that there's proper competition, lots of competitors, which obviously creates more supply, lowers prices on most goods.
Right, but where do competitors come from? What incentivizes people to start anything if there's going to be, heavy-handedness about what price you can charge or whether you can make profits?
Well, I think we should always allow for profit making in a capitalistic system. The question is, do we have a situation where we have monopolies or we have price fixing or price setting? And that is a role for government to address.